Hi, and welcome to the Accepted Student webinar. Before we begin, I'd like to do an overview with you. First, we will have introductions. Then we will go through the academic overview. You'll hear from our president of our student organization, and then you'll hear from our director of Career and Alumni Services and hear more about career services. My name is Danae Bottoms. I am the Assistant Director of Graduate Studies here at the Trachtenberg School.
Hello, my name is Mariah Brothy. I'm a first-year Master's of Public Administration student from Northern Colorado, and I studied anthropology in my undergrad. I moved to DC about 2 years ago, did my AmeriCorps Fellowship here in DC, and then started my graduate program in Master's of Public Administration with a nonprofit management emphasis.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm a first-year Masters of Public Policy student. I'm from the great state of Iowa and had the opportunity to work in my governor's office as well as the state legislature. I studied philosophy, math, and political science, and I'm currently focusing on education and budgeting.
And now I would like to introduce you to the director of the Trachtenberg School, Dr. Catherine Newcomer.
Welcome and congratulations. Congratulations on being accepted. We have a highly selective program with hundreds of applications, and so congratulations on your accomplishments that warranted your acceptance into the program. I am delighted to provide a little bit of background about our program, about the school, as well as the academic programs. Our school consists of about 480 students, all graduate level. We have the Master of Public Administration, which we've had for almost 60 years, the Master of Public Policy, which is a little, not quite as long, a tenure, and PhD in Public Policy and Administration. We also offer 2 certificates, one in Budget and Finance, the other in Nonprofit Management. And those certificates, as well as 2 certificates that we offer in collaboration with the Engineering School on Homeland Security and Emergency Management and Cybersecurity, can be taken along with the master's program. We are very proud that in the most recent ranking by the U.S. News and Report this spring, we are the top-ranked public affairs programs in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. We have a highly interdisciplinary faculty as well as curricula. That is, among our full-time faculty, we have political scientists such as myself, economists, lawyers, social policy and public policy PhDs. We have also many affiliated faculty from across the university, from sociology, from public health, from the law school, and so on, that participate in designing our curricula and delivering courses, including field courses, from across the university. We are offering a variety of fields of concentration, but we also provide flexibility to our students to create their own fields of concentration from across the university. Flexibility is also very prominent in terms of our delivery of our program. Students apply for the program, but you can, and not as a full-time or part-time, but you are a member of the school program, which is up to you whether you are full-time or part-time. From one semester to the next, that changes. Many of our students start as full-time students in their very first semester here, but then change because they get wonderful jobs or internships, and so they may end up going to part-time status by even the second semester, and many do by the second year they're in the program. We are a part of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, which is the largest component of GW, and we, as I mentioned, have great connections across the university, across the schools, engineering, law, and so on. And we really are the research university of the nation's capital. And by that I mean we have great connections not only through our alumni with public and nonprofit and private organizations, which are the employers that then hire our students across the Capitol, but our faculty are highly involved in working with organizations in terms of public policy, in terms of management issues. And so we have great connections with, whether it be on Capitol Hill, on the political side, or on the management side of our government, and also into the counties surrounding the district. We have alumni who are working virtually every unit of government you can think of, as well as all of the primary private sector consulting firms that deal with government generally, federal as well as state and local, such as Deloitte and Booz Allen and others. Another key way, which I will mention later, that we are connected is through providing literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of pro bono expertise to organizations throughout the metropolitan area through our coursework, including the capstone seminar. I'm now going to hand this over to Mariah, who you met earlier.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what my current cohort looks like, including our 66 different majors from previous institutions. That goes everywhere from chemistry, mathematics, history, anthropology, so many different majors, and that really adds to the cultural component of our classrooms in terms of everybody coming from a different background. Additionally, we are represented by 78% full-time and 22% part-time. That basically means that people either take 2 classes for part-time work or 3 classes for full-time work. And the difference between those really is pretty arbitrary. I mean, if you have a full-time job, then you can cut it back to 2 classes, like what Dr. Newcomer was talking about previously. And we don't offer any significant differences between our part-time and full-time staff. They're part-time and full-time programmatic elements. So all part-time students get the same access to resources that full-time students do. So it really is an advantage of flexibility in our full-time versus part-time classrooms. Additionally, we come from 32 different states and 9 different countries represented here on this map. As you can see, we're widespread across the entire world, and that really adds to the cultural experience that we have in our classrooms. Again, we have 9 different countries, so that allows us to speak about different governments and how they play, compare and contrast to the United States government, as well as how they play into kind of that environment of intergovernmental organizations. Additionally, we have a lot of different cultural components to that really add to the piece of communicating in the classroom. To talk a little bit more about how GW works in terms of where it's located in DC. DC is a hub for governmental organizations. Obviously, for the federal government, we're just 3 blocks from the White House, so it's really cool to be right there in the thick of things. In terms of federal government, we're also surrounded by 2 wonderful state governments, the Maryland and Virginia governments, which many of our students intern and work in. Additionally, we are the hub for international organizations. Obviously a lot of major NGOs base their nonprofits here in DC. We also are for national nonprofits as well as several local nonprofits. We have access to many of those as well. We are also the hub for many private sector enterprises like Deloitte, so consulting firms, as well as if you're interested in social enterprise work, we do have several of those companies here as well that many of our students take part in. Where GW is located specifically in DC is of significance. Like I mentioned, it is 3 blocks away from the White House. Just in the thick of things, we are also we have 3 metro lines that connect to the GW campus, the blue, orange, and silver lines. We are just a short walk away from the red line at Farragut North, that's slightly northeast of our campus. I'm going to turn it back over to Danae now.
Okay, thank you, Mariah. I am going to bring Kathy in to talk a little bit more about our programs.
Yes, I'm just going to give you a very brief overview that our 2 master's programs, MPA and MPP, are very similar in that they both have 40 credit hours. They both can be completed and are completed both full-time and part-time, and they both have 4 types of courses. The core courses that are required of everyone, the fields of concentration or field of study, electives, and then both have the capstone seminar that literally caps it off at the end of the program. The MPA program has 22 credits that are required. There are the normal 3 credit hour classes, and then the 1 credit hour class that is at the beginning, the cross-sectoral collaboration. One thing of note is that both the MPP and MPA take the same introductory research methods and statistics class 6002. And while the budgeting class is required of all MPA students, it is one of the options in the MPP. So there's the slight deviation between the MPA and the MPP, which I'm sure you probably already know, in that there is more about public management in the MPA, and then more in terms of skills, economics and statistical skills in the MPP. We have many fields of concentration for the MPA. There are 8 formal fields, but then there's also the option to create your own field. But any of the fields in the MPA can also be taken by MPP students and vice versa. And in fact, that happens, as Alex mentioned. He's taking budget and finance, and yet he is an MPP. We have MPPs that take nonprofit management, and many MPAs that go in to have chosen education policy as their field of concentration, which is one of the formally listed MPP fields. The Master of Public Policy program, again, has the core courses as well as the capstone, similar to the MPA. And there is the choice. So there are what we call the skills trio, are the budgeting, benefit cost, and evaluation requirement that the MPPs must take 2 of those 3 courses, but in fact, most of the students go ahead and take all 3 of those options. There are 10 formal fields for the MPP. Again, the budget and finance is crosses both. International development crosses both. We also have a unique opportunity with the regulatory policy. We're one of the few programs in the nation that has a really rich opportunity for regulatory policy due to the fact that we have a center here, the Regulatory Studies Center, which is located in the Trachtenberg School and is the hub of regulatory policy for definitely the federal government, but literally across the world. There is interest in our Regulatory Study Center is providing great leadership, thought leadership on the direction of formulation and assessment, that is, evaluation retrospectively of regulation policies. Now I'm going to turn over the conversation to one of the presidents of our Trachtenberg student organization. And let me just say that one of the things I find most enjoyable and rewarding about my job is working with our students. Yes, we have fantastic faculty, but the student community is a huge reason why students join our programs. Because with a 17-person TSO or Trachtenberg Student Organization Board, as well as a journal in its 23rd year, we think the oldest student-written, student-edited journal in the country, there are multiple opportunities for leadership development outside of the classroom at the Trachtenberg School. And I thoroughly enjoy working with our student leaders, including the one I'm going to introduce now, Austin.
All right, like Kathy said, my name is Austin Schott. I'm currently the MPA president of the Trachtenberg Student Organization. Just to give you an idea of what TSO is, we seek to build community within the Trachtenberg School. We love that at GW we have a reputation of being a really tight-knit community. We certainly don't have the cutthroat atmosphere, and instead we all push each other to excel, which was really exciting. In addition to building community, we also host a number of personal and professional development events. For example, last Friday we hosted a diversity and inclusion conversation on environmental justice and the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. We have these conversations once a month. Also, just looking at last week, we had an international student focus group where we could kind of see how we can meet the needs of international students. We had a happy hour to meet with students in similar programs at Georgetown, American University, and the University of Maryland. We had our spring formal, which gave us a chance just to get snazzed up and spend some time building community amongst each other. We also have the Policy Perspectives launch coming up this next week. So, like Kathy said, this is a journal that we publish and author on our own. It's the longest running student journal in the nation, we believe. And the launch is just kind of the launch of this new published journal. It's the 23rd version. Looking forward towards the fall, we have a retreat where students can come and build community and get to know each other better when they first arrive, so they feel really at home when they first get here. And we also have scheduled a large reception to celebrate election night coming up November 4th. We're going to have students, we're going to have faculty, numerous TVs, surround sound. We're going to be right in downtown DC, so it's going to be a really exciting way to spend election night. So that's just kind of a look at what TSO is. I want to hand it off to a couple of current students, both Mariah Brothy, who's serving on the TSO board, and Alex Severn as well.
Hi, I just want to talk a little bit about my experience being in the program and talk a little bit about the classes that I got a chance to take so far. So I'm currently in Dr. Newcomer's program evaluation course, which is really an engaging course that offers me the opportunity to work with the president of the American Evaluation Association, which is Dr. Newcomer, and really learn firsthand what evaluation is like, since it's a client-based course. So I work with Free the Slaves, that's based here in DC, and learn a lot about how Free the Slaves is doing and improving their mission and their work with different countries. So the evaluation course is wonderful. I'm also in a budgeting course, which offers and is taught by the CBO director who's been one of the CBO divisional directors now for the last 15 years. So the coursework here is really taught by professionals in the field who are really well known throughout the entire country for their work. Being on the Trachtenberg Student Organization is wonderful. I'm currently the volunteer chair, one of the volunteer chairs, and I'm working on connecting our community with the campus civic engagement community as a whole. I really enjoy the chance to connect with my peers who offer such different, diverse experiences in order to improve my education and my networking here at the university. I'm also going to bring Alex here into the conversation to talk about the Masters of Public Policy side.
Great. So something that I think riddles throughout the program that's extremely important is the overall flexibility. As I told you all beforehand, I'm focusing on education policy and then also budgeting and public finance, and that's something that you can do no matter where you are in the program. You can take classes and what you think is extremely important, what you find to be your passion, and you can mold that to be your concentration. So don't necessarily worry about the fields of concentration that we put before you. Some of the classes that I think are kind of capture the program are the economics of policy analysis class that I'm currently taking. And I really enjoy this class because it's taking economic theory out of the book and really applying it to pertinent policy issues. So for instance, we're studying how Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, different policies that can make those programs solvent. Also, we're using behavioral economics to increase your retirement savings. And I actually just started working full-time on the Hill and realized that this theory is being utilized in the retirement program that we have because you automatically enroll at a 3% basis. So that's using economics in our daily life. Another core course that's important is the public policy introduction to public policy class that you take, and that class allows you to understand the various tracks that policies move through the political process. For example, take the symbolic pathway, which utilizes focusing on events to push, highly supported bills such as the Patriot Act through Congress. So you discuss how this, impacts the implementation and also the longitudinal health of the policy. And you also work on policy writing format and, how to design those sort of policy memos. So those are just two classes that I think are kind of capture the program and some of the things that you'll be doing within the Masters of Public Policy program. At this point, I'd like to introduce another integral part to our program is the career director, Denise Riebman. I know a lot of our students have utilized career advancement to find jobs while they're in the program, and she's here to talk about that sort of process.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. Obviously, people come to this program and are looking to either get a new job, advance in their career, and the way we approach things here is very student-centric. We are really all about providing support to our students where they are and where they want to go. You've probably gotten a sense from the previous parts of this webinar that the student body here is incredibly diverse. We have students who are coming right out of undergrad and are looking for beginning of career exploration, and we have students that are here that have 10, 15, 20 years of experience. It will vary tremendously, and we provide support services for students all along the spectrum. We also, as I saw, you probably are getting a sense of, we have all different types of specializations and degrees and interest areas. Students work in all different policy arenas, every sector, and need to be able to navigate within all of these sectors. Our role in career services, and my job also includes alumni services, is to support our students and alumni in all of these spaces. How do we do this? We offer an online job board as well as hot job listservs and things of that nature that we get employers and alumni sending us job opportunities all the time. We offer professional development workshops, employer recruitment events. Again, we offer them at all different times of day and different topics. Sometimes we do lunchtime programs, evening programs, occasionally weekend. We did a weekend public speaking this spring. To address the fact that our students have different needs and that we need to accommodate the fact people coming from full-time jobs or people who are here as students full-time. The types of workshops and programs that we run will run the gamut. In the fall, I teach a fall career form class that will have everything from how to be what does it mean to be a policy analyst panel. We'll be bringing about 5 or 6 different people off the title to be a policy analyst, to a consulting panel, to an HR panel to get all the insights from HR, to intensive workshops on compensation negotiation, on interviewing, on resumes. So we will on the Presidential Management Fellow Program, so on public sector. Some of our programs, again, will run the gamut. This week alone, we're going to talk to an alum who works over at Uber on how to use an MPA and an MPP over at a place like Uber in the private sector. We also working with someone at the Veterans Benefits Administration. Last week, we had a lunch with 3 of our alum who all have very high positions in DC government. We had a dinner with alum with senior staff at national nonprofits. So as you can see, our programming will run the gamut in terms of sectors. We provide individual advising appointments. During orientation, I say to students, I want to see you early and often, and I mean that. We like to provide a lot of programs where people can learn from each other, but there's nothing like having individual one-on-one advising to support your individual growth needs. And this can be everything from career exploration to compensation negotiation and anything and everything in between. We offer drop-in hours to accommodate students. We have hours in the morning and in the evening, again, to address the fact that our students have quite varying needs. Also within this, I like to say to our alum, you can never get rid of us because alumni get career services for life with us. So I will do Skype interviews with people, alumni that are around the globe, and phone. So our alumni, some people will end up here in DC, but our alum end up all over the globe. We did a program this year that was on how to transition when you're looking to leave DC, and we did a webinar with alum in Seattle, Austin, Denver, and Boston to talk to our current students about how to make that transition. We connect our alum with our students on a regular basis through programming, networking. We just did a politics and policy networking mixer. Recently, we paired with other parts of the university to offer joint programming. We bring in our alum for mock interviews. So any way we can to support and connect and further your professional development is what matters to us. Last year, we had a 96% employment statistic of our students that were employed after graduation, within 6 months after graduation, with most of them having received the jobs either while they were in school here or shortly thereafter. We do that through providing individual support for our students, as many resources as possible, connecting them with people. But the thing that I like to say that really makes that 96th percentile easy to get to is the academic training that our students get here, how I work very closely with our faculty, and how employers in, whether it's the DC area or outside the DC area, know our students as being excellent. I over and over again have employers that reach to me back and say, we had an intern from your school here, we want to get another one. We had someone working here, they got a promotion, we want to find another Trachtenberg student to come in, Trachtenberg alum. So they make the alum and the employers make my job easy because of the way that our students come and get trained here, and they come out with such professional hands-on skills ready to hit the ground running in positions of leadership in every single sector. So if you have any further questions, you can always be happy to get in touch with us. We are thrilled to support our students.
Okay. Danae's back. So far you've heard from our current students, our Director of Career and Alumni Services, as well as our Director of the Trachtenberg School, Kathy Newcomer. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about financial aid and funding. So the slide that you see is a list of individual expenses estimated for 1 year. The tuition cost is $30,420. That's assuming that you are taking 18 credits. So the cost per credit hour is $1,690. As you'll see, living expenses, including food, housing, and utilities, are $21,600. Books and supplies are $400. Health insurance is $1,980. Again, this is an estimated cost, and it can vary depending on how you utilize the resources here. You have the option, as far as book supplies, to rent your books online as well as utilize other internet resources. Health insurance is also optional, so that is something that you can remove to reduce costs as well.
Hi, so this is Alex again. I just wanted to pitch in about the budget line item there as living expenses. So it really depends on what you are personally budgeting for is how much you're going to spend. If you'd like to find a place around campus here, obviously you're going to be spending more, up towards that $21,600 a year. However, a lot of students choose to move outside of DC proper to get more bang for the buck or just to spend less overall. I know personally I live in Northern Virginia and I don't spend near that amount. As well, you can decide for yourself, how much money you're going to be spending weekly or monthly on your food. A lot of people decide to, go out and eat out and spend more money, or others, stay in and cook. So it really just depends on yourself, on your own personal habits to what you'll be spending.
Thank you, Alex. I'd also like to add that if you have more questions about housing options, feel free to join our Facebook page, Trachtenberg Accepted Students 2016, as well as emailing tsadmit@gwu.edu. There you'll have an opportunity to speak with additional current students and more accepted students to discuss housing opportunities. Moving on, I'd like to talk to you guys about funding opportunities as well. The Trachtenberg School provides merit-based awards to our most competitive students, but I would like to say if you have not received a merit-based award offer, that does not mean that you will not receive an offer. There is still time, so I would advise you to reach out to me. You can email me at dbottoms@gwu.edu to get more information in that regard. In addition to merit-based awards, there are also opportunities through employers. So your job perhaps may offer you tuition remission or tuition reimbursement, just as GW does. For example, as an employee at GW, you have the opportunity to receive 90% coverage of 7 courses throughout the entire year as a full-time employee. If you're part-time, you'll get about half of that coverage. Also, we have the Office of Graduate Student Assistantships and Fellowships. Through this office, you will be able to access additional scholarships, fellowships, and fellowship opportunities. An example is the Scottish Rights Fellowship. That is an organization affiliation scholarship. The deadline is approaching, so I would advise you to go on the website and apply if you are eligible. In addition to that, we have the Career Development Fellowship. That is for part-time and full-time students who are employed and want to obtain a graduate degree. We also have many scholarship opportunities for international students. When you go on the website, you go to international students and you'll see a list of scholarships and fellowships available specifically for that group. Also, the Colonial Central, that is the Office of Student Financial Assistance. This is a one-stop shop. So you have the option to access the Office of the Registrar, financial assistance, as well as student accounts. There you'll be able to see a breakdown of the cost of your tuition, student fees, and any additional costs there, and make adjustments as well. Also in student accounts, there are some volunteer costs that you can actually remove to reduce your total tuition costs as well. Please keep in mind that forms for financial aid are due May 1st, but for specific information, please go directly to the Office of Financial Aid Services, go to their website, or give them a call to get detailed information regarding your loan information and anything else. If you have any questions, please feel free, again, to reach out to tsadmit@gwu.edu, or you can contact me directly. That's dbottoms@gwu.edu. Thank you again, and I hope to see you in the fall.